Mirror work is probably best known from Louise Hay and also espoused by other thought leaders and teachers in the self-love and personal growth arena. It's a simple practice that involves using a mirror as a tool for self-reflection, affirmation, inquiry, and transformation. The practice typically entails standing in front of a mirror or using a hand mirror, making eye contact with oneself, and observing the thoughts that come up. You then progress to saying affirmations or asking questions to the wiser, intuitive part of yourself. State your love for yourself, express compassionate sentiments, and engage in a dialogue with yourself. Hi, I'm Patty Blue Hayes, author, coach, and your guide to blossoming beyond heartbreak and cultivating hope as you sow the seeds of healing. I recall the first time I did this, I was extremely uncomfortable. All my thoughts were self-condemning, and I could barely hold eye contact with myself. I felt so inadequate and unlovable, and deeply ashamed for being a failure. But I was determined to heal the heartbreak of being abandoned so abruptly, and though I had no idea if doing the mirror work would help, I was willing to try anything. On your journey back to wholeness and self-love, keep an open mind and heart, and try any and all practices and tools that you learn about. I've found that we generally will gain some insight from every intentional practice we engage in. If mirror work is completely new to you, start by just gazing into the mirror and saying hello. See what happens. You may decide to spend some time chatting with yourself. If you've watched my other videos or are familiar with IFS, internal family systems, you know that we all have many parts that make up our whole self. Like a bunch of roommates trying to live together in harmony, our parts of self are the same. See who shows up to converse with you. I'd encourage you to invite the future self to show up sooner rather than later. There's a version of yourself in the future who is healed and whole, confident, and even joyful. She or he can be one of your greatest advocates and guides to help you step into that future version. Through mirror work, we can cultivate self-love, self-acceptance, personal healing, reframing the negative self-talk, turning around limiting beliefs, and processing unresolved emotions. Mirror work encourages us to embrace our true selves, acknowledge our worthiness, and nurture a deeper connection with ourselves. Over time, with a consistent practice of mirror work, we can have profound shifts in our self-perception, confidence, and overall well-being. Some of the positive benefits of mirror work include 1. Emotional regulation and stress reduction. Looking into your own eyes in the mirror while practicing self-compassion exercises can boost your emotional regulation skills. By acknowledging and validating your emotions in a supportive way, you can learn to respond to those emotionally triggering events with greater kindness and understanding. Mirror work may also contribute to stress reduction by promoting a sense of self-soothing. Cultivating self-compassion through kind and supportive self-talk can provide a buffer against the negative effects of stress and anxiety. 2. Reduced self-criticism. Engaging in mirror work can help us challenge and reframe the negative self-talk and self-criticism. We have to be willing to do this and not just look into the mirror with self-hatred. That is why I suggest accessing the healed and whole future self. By replacing those critical thoughts with affirming and compassionate statements, we are creating space to reduce the self-judgment and harshness. Please help me continue to create these videos by subscribing to my channel if you find this content valuable. 3. Improved self-perception. Regularly affirming oneself in the mirror can lead to improved self-perception and build our self-esteem. By focusing on positive affirmations, we can start to internalize these messages and view ourselves in a more compassionate light. As uncomfortable as this may feel, It is a potent rite of passage toward self-acceptance. 4. Increased self-acceptance, self-compassion, and self-love. Mirror work encourages us to accept ourselves fully, including our perceived flaws, imperfections, and past behaviors. Over time, this practice builds greater self-compassion and acceptance of our unique qualities and life experiences. Notice how these attributes start with the self. It's essential for us to create this from the inside and not seek acceptance, approval, kindness, and love from external sources. Mirror work is a bit like time traveling into your past with the future version of yourself as your loving companion by your side. In order for us to heal from our self-inflicted wounds, we must call upon that highest and best version of ourselves to reveal themselves to us. That part of ourselves who is the pure and divine essence from the spiritual seed of our creation is the loving light guide who will hold our frail souls while showing us our inherent worthiness. Mirror work creates the opportunity for us to recognize the sacredness within ourselves and connect with our inherent nature as spiritual beings having a human experience. This practice can also help us tune into our higher consciousness. When we first practice this, we may look at the freckles, wrinkles, and crooked tooth, only observing the superficial elements of our physical bodies. And maybe the next few times when we look into our eyes, we feel disgust, shame, or even emptiness. But at some point, that loving spirit guide within you emerges, and that is when we acknowledge our divine nature, embrace our authentic selves, and develop a deeper awareness of the universal principles of love, compassion, and wholeness. When that happens, you become your own best friend, loving guide, and spunky sidekick in your life. And when you meet your eyes in a mirror gaze, you feel love for yourself and all the journeys you've taken in order to get to this very moment. Wow, what a ride, you say to yourself. I'm proud of you. I love you. Let's meet in the mirror more often. Remember, you're on a journey of healing and transformation. The seed does not become a blossom overnight.